Hey there, my name is John Foong. I live in Sydney, Australia. I was lucky enough to be part of the 25 years ago intake for the UNSW Information Systems and Management Co-op program, and I graduated in 2002 with that degree. I work as the Chief Commercial Officer and Managing Director at Domain Holdings Group, one of Australasia's largest real estate portals, and an app that 7 million Australians use every single month. And I've been there for about 3 years. I didn't necessarily choose this career all out, but in the beginning, back when I was a teenager, a bit younger than you are now, I decided that I really want to be a leader in the church or the non-profit space. That was my passion. I loved serving people. I loved learning about people. I loved helping people. And what I really want to do was actually do that full time, become the CEO of a non-profit or the pastor of a church. And when I talk with people about the best way to do that, they said, John, before you get out there and walk the streets, do 2 things. Get yourself a uni degree and learn how to learn. And secondly, get yourself some work experience so you can learn how to apply that knowledge into the real world. That led me to the Co-op program because in 4 years you got the best of both worlds. 18 months of really interesting work experience. And then secondly, an amazing technology background. And for me, a business technology background that has served me ever since. The Co-op program was a real springboard, not just in teaching me how to learn and the kind of careers I'd like, but it really helped me get into some amazing places. After the Co-op program, I was lucky enough to be accepted as a business analyst from McKinsey in Australia. And after 2 years there, they encourage you to go and travel the world and do another degree. I spent 6 months in Africa working for the US government in Mozambique. And then I spent 2 years at Stanford University in America doing a Masters of Business Association, an MBA, and a Masters of Education. During that time, in 2006, I was fortunate enough to become an intern at a small company called Google in London. It was only a few hundred people in London back then, and I was one of their first interns. I ended up staying there 13 years, starting in marketing, then becoming a technical search quality manager out of Dublin, Ireland. And after 6 years in Ireland, I spent 7 years at headquarters in Silicon Valley, building Google Cloud, being a sales leader and a director in partnerships. I spent a few years at Uber, also based in Silicon Valley, and a few years ago, during the pandemic, we decided to move back to Australia, where I became the Chief Commercial Officer at Domain. My role in Domain is really, really interesting. You see, we have about $400 million in revenue, and I'm responsible for delivering that number by developing products and solutions for people trying to sell and buy real estate. This means my day is basically spent a lot of time with customers. We have 10,000 customer groups across Australia. I have 700 staff that I look after, so meeting with them, communicating with them, encouraging them, and helping them succeed. And a lot of time doing a lot of interesting problem solving and strategy, figuring out how we get an edge in the market, and then developing those products with our product and technology team. That's what I get to every day, and it's tons and tons of fun across Australia and New Zealand. When I think back on my career, there are a few really important inflection points. Getting to the Co-op program was a big deal. It set me on a different path of expecting great things for myself and surrounding myself with other people who can do the same. I was very similar at McKinsey, which encouraged me to do that, but have a global perspective, which eventually helped me get to Stanford. Being an early employee at Google was really, really lucky when I look back at it. You know, I think one of those things you look for when you're young in your career is an accelerator, where for every year you work, you get 3 or 4 years experience. And that's what McKinsey and Stanford and Google was for me. I learned so many things, and the teams grew so quickly because of the stages those companies and those roles were in. And so, for those who are looking to follow into my footsteps, which I call general manager, I guess CEO training, someone wants to lead a group of people and do interesting things in the business and technology space. There's really only 2 things you need to master. Number 1 is people skills. That will always be the most important thing, no matter what happens with artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the like. It'll always be about your ability to attract talent, retain them, and get a good team to become great, or fix a bad team and make it good. That's one thing you'll learn. And the second thing is problem solving. Whatever I learned at university is less relevant now, but the frameworks I learned were really useful. How to think about systems analysis and design, how to think about databases, how to think about accounting and financial processes. Those were all really important. But the most important thing was learning how to learn, because the problems that you'll address today are different to the problems I addressed 25 years ago. They're exciting, they're changing, and the world is changing at a faster pace than ever. So two things: learn how you're going to get people skills and learn how to get problem solving skills. And there's many ways to do that. Becoming a lawyer or a doctor is a really interesting way to do that. But actually the co-op program was a wonderful way to merge those things together, where I was surrounded by amazing people doing amazing things, and we learnt the art of technology problem solving and got to apply that in all sorts of different companies. All the best with the amazing choice ahead of you, and make sure you reach out if I can be of assistance.